This video is going to show you how to make beef brisket. Here's what you'll need. 3 tablespoons balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon olive oil or avocado oil, 1/4 cup of honey, salt, 1½ cups dry red wine. This brisket drinks more red wine than me. 1 cup of chicken or beef broth, 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon thyme, 2 bay leaves, 8 cloves of garlic, and 2 onions. Here we're using 3 pounds of brisket. You preferably want a second cut brisket, and ask if your butcher can cut off the excess fat. If not, and you find a first cut brisket, that's fine. Your dish will still turn out delicious. Preheat your oven to 325, then get your cast iron skillet ready to sear your brisket. Over a medium-high heat. Generously sprinkle both sides of the brisket with salt. Cook, turning once until browned on both sides, about 4 to 6 minutes. In the meantime, thinly slice your onions and garlic. Once your brisket is done searing, you're going to set it on the side. Coat your frying pan on medium-high heat. Add the onions, thyme, garlic, and bay leaves, followed by the wine and the vinegar. Cook, stirring often until the onions are softened and the mixture is fragrant, about 3 to 5 minutes. Now add the remaining wine, honey, garlic powder, paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, and broth. Cover the brisket with your onion mixture. Pull the brisket on top so it rests on top of the onion mixture. Cover with lid and then put in the oven. Halfway through the cooking process, you're going to flip your brisket over. A brisket cooks for 1 hour per pound. Once it's done, let it rest for 10 minutes. Use a sharp knife to cut thin slices perpendicular to the lines in the brisket. The onions make a great topping over the brisket. And there you have it, your rich and savory brisket. Enjoy, and thanks for watching Run the Dish. For beef stew, you're gonna need 3 pounds of Angus chuck roast, olive oil and umami seasoning for the marinade, tomato paste, 1 onion, a few carrots, about a tablespoon of salt, 1/4 cup of cassava flour, tablespoon of thyme, and 3 tablespoons of beef suet or beef tallow. Hi, welcome to Run the Dish. This is Tamar, and today I'm going to show you how to make beef stew in an Instant Pot, really easy. First, marinate your chuck roast overnight in olive oil and umami seasoning. I have 2 pounds because that's all the store had. I usually do 3.5 because I like a lot of leftovers, but we'll work with 2.5. Put that aside for now. We're gonna fill the Instant Pot in this order. First, grab your bone broth, and we have a great recipe on how to make bone broth in our other videos. Check it out. Start with filling the pot with 2 cups of bone broth. Then you're gonna add tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons. Then you're gonna have 3 tablespoons of beef tallow or suet, beef suet. I have beef suet. Throw that in there. A teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of thyme. Okay. Half a cup of cassava flour. This is gluten-free and dairy-free. Mix that up. Then add onion and carrots for flavoring. This is half a chopped yellow onion and 4 carrots. And then finally your beef, chuck roast. Let's do the fatty side, should go up. All right, put on your lid. 90 minutes. Pressure cook, 90 minutes. It's gonna go, and then I kind of let it sit on warm for another hour. Oh my God, that's it. That was so quick. So our chuck roast has finished cooking in its own juices. You want to take it out and chop it up into chunks. Then we're going to put it back in with all the flavorings. And here are the results. Oh man, super tender, delicious. Welcome to Run the Dish, and in this video we're going to show you how to make beef stir fry. For the ingredients, you'll need 8 ounces of Korean rice ovalettes, 8 to 10 ounces of a tender cut of beef. Here we're using flank steak, 3 to 4 tablespoons of cocoa aminos, 1 teaspoon of salt, beef tallow for frying, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil for marinade, 1 zucchini thinly sliced, 6 ounces of shiitake mushrooms, 6 to 4 cloves of garlic, and half an onion thinly sliced. Slice your beef to a 1/4 inch thickness. Set the beef aside in a large bowl. Next, take your shiitake mushrooms and slice them up. Mince the garlic. Combine the shiitake, garlic, 3 tablespoons of cocoa aminos, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the bowl and mix. Set aside for now. Bring a pot of water to boil and add your rice ovalettes. Cook them for 1 minute. Drain and set those aside as well. Slice your zucchini and onion. Heat the beef tallow in a skillet on medium-high. Add the onions, zucchini, and salt. Cook until it's tender, about 4 minutes. Heat some beef tallow in another skillet. To this one, you're going to add your beef mixture. Cook about 2 minutes per side until browned. Then add your rice ovalettes and vegetables. Add a little more salt and cocoa amino to taste. And there's your delicious savory beef stir fry with Korean rice ovalettes. Enjoy! Thanks for watching. Hey, this is Tamar, and I'm going to show you how to grill grass-fed burgers on a gas grill. Say that 10 times fast. You'll need 80-20 grass-fed beef, salt and other seasonings that you like, and buns. We prefer gluten-free buns. Preheat your gas grill to 500 degrees. Get it hot, hot, hot. Now mush up that ground beef. Next, form patties into 1/4 or 1/2 pound size, depending on your appetite. Then add a little dimple to your patty. This will help prevent the patty from forming a football shape. Add salt and pepper if you like to both sides. This will help bring out the flavor of the meat. Add those patties to a hot gas stove and grill 4 to 5 minutes each side. Oh, that sizzle's a great sound. And once the patties are on, close the lid. Here are a couple tips. Never press down on those patties and only flip once. This will maintain that nice juicy flavor. I'm gonna turn the flame down while I flip the burger, and then once I close the lid, I'm gonna return it back to high. Once you've flipped your burger, you can add your buns to the gas grill on the top rack. This way you can time everything to come out at once, all warm and toasty. When the burgers have about 1 minute more left to cook, this is a great time to add the cheese, so it's nice and melty. And flip your buns too. Ah, check that out. Perfection. Kind of like a steak, you want your burgers to rest, but only for about a minute. And there you go, delicious hamburgers. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is Tamar from Run the Dish, and this video will show you how to make carnivore pizza. All right, so preheat your oven to 375 and then take your pound of ground beef, put it in a food processor, 3 eggs, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Once that gets to a smooth consistency, you're going to transfer it into a mixing bowl. Add 1/2 cup of white rice flour, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and 1/4 a teaspoon of salt. And just fold these ingredients together. Okay, once all the ingredients have been combined, you could put it on your baking sheet that's covered with the parchment paper. And start forming your pizza crust. So when this is in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes, it's going to shrink a little, so spread it out pretty good. And this is a great pizza because it's gluten-free, full of protein, and it's going to taste great. The rice flour gives it a little bit of that bread taste. And just a heads up, after this is done baking for 30 minutes, you can put whatever toppings you want. Cheese, pineapple, whatever. I'm just gonna do tomato paste and olives because I can't have dairy. But when my kids are eating this, I do half cheese and half non-cheese. All right, there you go. It's ready to go in the oven. All right, so there's our pizza ready for toppings. So I'm gonna put tomato paste on mine. And feel free to put whatever you want. I'm keeping it simple, tomato paste, and then I'll sprinkle some olives on it. And then you put it back in the oven, same temperature, 375 for 10 minutes just to warm up your toppings. Yeah, now we have our pizza to cut. I'm just gonna use a knife. I don't have a pizza cutter. All right, yeah, here it is. Voila, Carnivore Pizza. Run the Dish is gonna show you how to make meatballs. For the meatballs, you'll need 1 pound of ground beef, 1/4 of a yellow onion peeled, 1 egg lightly beaten, 1/4 cup pork rind crumbs, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon ground black pepper, olive oil to coat the cast iron pan, half a medium yellow onion finely chopped, 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1/2 cup of water, 1/4 cup maple syrup, salt, and ground black pepper. To make the sauce, heat olive oil in the cast iron over medium heat. Add onion and cook, stirring occasionally till it's softened, about 4 minutes. Next, stir in your tomato sauce, water, maple syrup, pepper, and salt. Reduce the heat to low and let it simmer while we make the meatballs. In a bowl, you're going to combine the beef, onions, beaten egg, pork rind crumbs, pepper, and salt. Combine it with your hands. And form the meat mixture into golf-sized balls. 1 pound of beef forms about 9 balls. Gently nestle the balls into the sauce. Cover the pan and turn the heat to medium-low. Halfway through the 30-minute cooking process, you're going to turn the meatballs. After 30 to 35 minutes, your meatballs are ready to serve. Thanks for watching. Run the Dish. Enjoy! Hey, welcome to Run the Dish, and we're going to show you how to make reverse sear steak. For the equipment, you'll need a cast iron pan, a wired rack, and a meat thermometer. For the ingredients, you'll need a steak, preferably one with some fat on it, salt and pepper to season, and olive oil or butter. Season your steak on both sides and then preheat the oven to 250. If you don't have a wired rack, you can kind of make your own. Or if you can't make your own, you can flip your steak over halfway through the cooking process. Cook for 30 to 40 minutes depending on the thickness of your steak. After 30 minutes, you can start checking the temperature of your steak. It should be 115 for a medium rare steak, so that's a little bit below what a medium rare steak should be, which is 130. Coat your pan with olive oil or butter. Make that cast iron really hot before you sear it. You only need 30 seconds of searing each side. Then transfer it off the pan and let it cool for at least 5 minutes before cutting. And there is your reverse sear steak. Enjoy, and thanks for watching. Hey, this is Tamar from Run the Dish, and today we're going to be making bone marrow and then turning these bones into bone broth. All you need is a bag of bones, and you can find them in your freezer section, and salt. So place your bones on your baking sheet. Sprinkle each bone with some salt. Set your oven to 450 and roast for 30 minutes. Here are bones and bone marrow right out of the oven, roasted. The oil has dripped off and is bubbling. We're gonna let that cool down for about 10-15 minutes. So our bones have cooled down, and now we're gonna eat a little marrow. It's buttery tasting and full of collagen. Now we'll put them in the crock pot, Instapot. Also, the fat drippings that harden, you can use this to grease your pans, like for scrambled eggs. So save that. All right, so put the bones in your Instapot. A tablespoon of salt, and then cover with water. Then you're going to set your Instapot to 3 hours and then let it cool. Or just hit the soup broth button. 1 hour. Here we go. So after 1 hour on the soup broth button, you let it sit 2 hours on the keep warm button. After that, you could separate the bones from the broth. So grab a strainer and a bowl and pour it in. Great, and then just pull the strainer up. Then you could take your soup and pour it into glass jars. The taste is very mild because we just use salt. It's great for sipping or using to cook your rice in. It's versatile for any kind of broth you want to use. So enjoy. Bone broth is rich in collagen. It's a great source of collagen, the most abundant protein in our body. It makes up our hair, skin, nails, and intestine, tendons, ligaments, and joints, the cartilage between our joints. And we lose 1% of collagen a year after the age of 20, so you should definitely start incorporating bone broth and collagen into your diet through that gelatinous meat or the gelatin part in your bone broth. Consequence of not getting enough collagen is advanced wrinkling and sagging skin, rough skin, brittle nail and hairs, and a weaker gut and more destruction in the joint. So start drinking your bone broth and making it at home way better than the store bought, which is filled with fillers and thickeners. Hey, this is Tamar from Run the Dish, and we're going to cook beef heart. This was marinating since this morning in unami seasoning and olive oil. All right, and we're gonna cook it in the cast iron with beef tallow because it needs fat. It needs to cook in a lot of fat because there's not a lot of fat in a heart. It is cardiac muscle, not skeletal muscle. Okay, so generously let this pan warm up. All right, here we go. Oh, you could see the, real quick, look at that. That is the valves right there. We'll cut that off later. Here we go, on to the pan. So it's medium-high heat. And since this is pretty thick, we're gonna cook it a few minutes per side. Actually, I should probably cut it. Yeah. Why don't you film me cutting it? Okay, all right, ready? All right, we're gonna cut it. Open this up. Okay, it's been cooking 5 minutes. I'm gonna flip it over. I actually put a lid on because there was a lot of splattering. There you go. And we're gonna flip it over. Also, I turn the heat down to medium-low. I'm going to put the cover on lightly and then set the timer for 5 minutes. Okay, it's off the cast iron. Now we're going to cut it this way into little slices. So heart is good for you because it has CoQ10, carnitine, taurine, and peptides that help the heart in their contractility. So heart is essentially good for your heart. Muscle meat is great, but you're missing out on the other nutrients I just mentioned when you eat heart. So here we go, and of course add salt, and voila. Hey guys, what do you think of the beef heart?
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's so chewy. I like it chewy.
Number 4, plant-based meat versus grass-fed beef. Let's start with plant-based patties. Their pea protein is 20 grams of mostly unabsorbable protein and missing essential amino acids in the protein. It has canola oil, which is harmful to humans. And then they add vitamins and minerals. I'm guessing just so it looks better on the nutrition label. Yeah, not impressed. Plant-based meat. It's a frankenfood. Let's think about it. It's this mashup of legumes, vegetables, seed oils, and synthetic vitamins. Legumes and vegetables are hard to digest, and the proteins are not bioavailable. Seed oils are destructive to cell membranes and mitochondria. They take about 4 years to be eliminated by your body. It's best to avoid them. Let's move on to animal-based meat, specifically beef. Beef has a complete protein, meaning it provides all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot make, and you have to eat them. Red meat has 25 grams of protein per 100 grams. This protein is highly bioavailable and easy to digest. Also, meat is not just a source of protein. Meat contains several vitamins and minerals. For example, per pound of meat, you'll get 10 micrograms of heme iron, that's 57% of our daily value, 1,250 micrograms of potassium, that's 54%, 159 micrograms of calcium, that's 16%. And unlike plant, animal-sourced foods do not contain anti-nutrient compounds, which block mineral absorption, making these minerals more bioavailable to you. And it only has one ingredient, beef. All right, let's talk about price. The plant-based patties come to 87.4 cents per ounce, and the beef comes to 68.7 cents per ounce. Beef is less expensive and more nutritious. Animal-based meat, our favorite is grass-fed beef. It is the healthier swap of meats.
Jack, we have a plant-based meat and we have a grass-fed beef. What do you prefer?